Let it go この決意 Unbreakable 愛する世界に不正なアクセス許さないぜターゲットロックオン今すぐ出動 It's moving time 飛び込め危機の最前線シャットダウン完了特命戦隊 Go the Stars
It's time to review James Bond 007 Everything or Nothing for the PlayStation 2. Everything or Nothing was the last James Bond product to feature Pierce Brosnan in it, and is considered by many to be the best 6th generation James Bond game, although not the best game in general due to GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64. But is there a chance that Everything or Nothing is a lot better than GoldenEye? Well, let's find out. The story of Everything or Nothing is that a Russian scientist named Katyana Donova has been kidnapped due to making some extremely powerful nanotechnology or something along those lines, and James has been tasked with saving her. There's a lot more to the plot than that, but I don't want to spoil the fun for anyone who hasn't played the game. Everything or Nothing is a third-person shooter where you usually have to get from A to B, but you'll have to do certain objectives every once in a while. You shoot enemies with R1, you lock onto them by holding L1, the X button is used to do the highlighted action, square and triangle punch, the circle button dives, you take cover by pressing R2, and you can crouch by holding L2. The major gimmick of the game is the Bond sense, which can be turned on by pressing left or right on the D-pad. It is basically this bullet time mode where you can change your weapon or gadget and lock on to the nearest enemy. And speaking of gadgets, there are many gadgets which you can use to help yourself out, like the Rappel gun, which obviously is used to climb up walls, the Q-Spider, which sneaks into air vents and blows itself up, thermovision, and more. You'll also end up driving many vehicles in the game, such as a car, a motorbike, a tank, and more. You move forward by holding X and brake in reverse with square. You can also fire weapons by pressing R1 and can switch weapons by pressing R2. Now, one of the more important things in the game are the Bond moments, which you can unlock by doing things in a certain way, and it'll give you extra points which will add up to your final score. Some of these things involve destroying a helicopter with a certain vehicle, killing enemies in a certain fashion, or giving a woman a back rub? Okay, now that's just awesome. Okay, one thing I found odd about the game is that when you crouch, you can't take cover, which isn't technically a flaw, but it's just very confusing since, well, isn't that one of the ground rules of third-person shooters? How'd they screw that one up? Also, trying to get anything besides bronze rank in the later levels is really annoying since there seems to be just no thing as silver, since you'll need absurdly high points to get anything but bronze. There are also a few levels in the game with no checkpoints at all, which can become very, very annoying when you keep dying due to getting shot at by everybody in the level, such as when trying to find the room of a certain car driver in a hotel. And on the subject of that level, good luck trying to complete that level, let alone get perfect, as you'll get screwed over and over and over again. However, the worst part of the game has to be the first set of Peru missions. First of all, it has the aforementioned problem of having no checkpoints, and since it's a long level and has a lot of enemies, that gets really annoying. Also, there's a certain switch in the level we have to find, but there is no indication as to where the hell it is, so you'll probably end up spending 5 to 10 minutes looking for something that's right by the entrance to a completely pointless series of tunnels that serves no purpose. It gets even worse during the final motorcycle section, since the time limit is very strict and you need to take a certain shortcut and have absolutely perfect time for getting into the plane. Perfect recipe for a ton of frustration, isn't it? Thankfully, the game makes up for it by having a lot of good things about it. First of all, a lot of the Bond moments are, as I said before, pretty awesome and allow you to be inventive with how you do things. And yes, I still can't believe one of the moments is given for massaging a woman. The game also does a much better job of actually feeling like a James Bond movie than GoldenEye, since there's a lot of set pieces, and it actually has very good production values for a licensed game. I mean, it has Willem Dafoe in it, for crying out loud. The main gameplay is also pretty fun, but the best part of the game to me are the vehicle sections, which make up a lot of the game's set pieces and are very fast-paced and awesome. But I do have to ask, why is it that the motorbike in this particular stage goes as fast as Sonic the Hedgehog? I mean, if it stays that fast for any longer, it'll... Oh, dear God. Moving on. 007 Everything or Nothing is a fun game with awesome vehicle missions, inventive Bond moments, very good production values, fun gameplay, and actually feeling like a James Bond movie. Sadly though, you can get screwed over by lots of enemies, some levels don't have any checkpoints, and the first set of Peru missions are just quite terrible. Overall, I give Everything or Nothing a Jack and Daxter, meaning that it's a pretty good game.